So this is picking up from beginning part 11. We're going to go into right now, and I want to talk to you about in this is that when you start to code this this layout with it now, is that we're going to have a table layout, and then you have a table row, and inside your table row you're going to have some table views in here as well. So just to, this is what it's going to look like. Let me do this, and so you can see the simplicity of the table row that's going to take place right now, which you already have. And then inside a table row, you're going to do table view with it. And let me just do this to close off on our tag with it. You're going to have about 3 of these table views to see inside of this thing, and I'm going to code this from the outside in so you can see the nesting of this process with it. All right, so each one, again, test question, test question, test question, TQ, 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 test question. Table view nested inside your table row. Table row is nested inside your table layout. Table layout is nested inside of your linear layout with it. Okay, so that's kind of like similarly what if you recall HTML markup language follows what's called the DOM model, the document object model with it. When you have elements and tags and all this stuff with it, and attributes with it as well. So I want to do this from the outside coming in with the attributes with this. So we'll give that some attributes in here as well for the table row right now with it. All right, so bear with me. I want to fast forward this really quick. So I want to talk about the Android ID and all the stuff with it as well. Let me type really quick on some of the stuff. Alright, so this right here is basically your table row with this thing, and I'm gonna indent in. I'm gonna take all of these table views, let me indent it in so we can have a little bit more structure in this as well with it. So each one of these table views, it's going to have a column, and I'm going to copy and paste one of these rows with it as well. So as you can see, I'm starting to turn out my first table in my design over here as I code. Can you see that over here? It's recording over here on the right hand side. So I'm going to come into this table row right now. This is where it's getting kind of interesting, and I'm going to slow this down. The style, I'm going to call this. The style is going to be called @style left cell. All right. Now @style, how do I know left cell? Remember how we define it over in the styles? At the styles, you see that? So that's the first one, right? With it, let me hit enter, hit tab. Come over here. I shouldn't hit enter too soon with it. So this is text view with it. The next we need to do is what's called the Android width with this. So we give it a width. If you can see how the layout looks with it, you see it's turning into our first shape with this as well, right? So this is our first width with it. Now we're going to do the width is about 50 dp. move this down here so we can see this a little better. Whoop. And I'm going to do the Android layout column is 0. Call this one up first. So you can see this is on the right hand side, our layouts coming together is our first view with this as well, right? Now I'm going to do this for the middle one and the right one. I'm going to change the style with it. So I'm going to copy this one right here. Make sure you don't have any syntax error, folks. Copy, and I'm going to replace it with this middle one, which is line 37, right? And then I'm going to also replace it in my line 41, and I'm going to just edit some of this as well. So just not to screw everything up with it, but make sure you have your indentation properly done in here as well. I just tab it over so we can get some. And I'm going to call this, of course, it's not the left cell, it's called the middle cell. Remember that? Okay. And this is called the what? The right cell. Okay. And of course, the column, it's 0. This is going to be 2. This is going to be 1. All right. And voila. So you should have, in perspective-wise with it, text view. Let's see what this one's wrong. It has a little squiggly line here. It doesn't like it here. Let's see. So let me show you what I have right now. So these on the layout, you could see the text view. I kind of, the first row is row 0, left cell, middle cell, and my cells are displaying on here with it. So can you see that? Okay. So this, again, test question wise with it, table view is nested inside your table row. Table row is nested inside your table layout. Table layouts is nested inside your linear layout with it. So we're going to have to create another set of row like this. Make sure your table row, you see how I highlighted that with it? We're going to come in, we're going to change this, we're going to copy the same thing across this at the same time with this and just put this on the second. It's the same thing as what you would actually have, and we're going to just put this on the second row like that. So that creates another row for us to see here. All right. So make sure it's, I'll tell you why. Hang on. Sorry, my mistake, my bad. Sorry. So table row, closing the table row, right? So we need to actually have another set of your table row. So I need to actually copy this content right here, including the table row, would generate the second row. I only copy the text view, and that would actually mess everything up with it. So I need to do the table row to table row. This is the correct way of doing this. And I would actually paste that there. As you can see in your design, you have the second one in here as well, right? But make sure in your second row that you have to change that row to 0 to 1. That's the ID, right? And still table row, match parent with it. Style is still, everything is inside it except for that row is now row 1, right? With it. Same thing, right? So we copy that same row. Now we put it in, we just change that 0 to a 2. right? And you can see in your design, this is coming together here with it. And you can see in my design on both of mine, it's coming together pretty nice with it. And it gives you kind of like a landscape of a blueprint layout for this thing with it as well, right? Make sure you do file, save your files with it, or save all. Make sure you save all your files for me with it. Okay, so this is what I have is 3 rows right now. Okay, in the layout with it as well. Now we need to put in the other thing is at the bottom of this we need to have a text view for this. So inside of this thing, so come out of your table layout. Outside your table layout, because you're done with your table layout with it, we need to insert in a button and a view. Remember now, it tells you who win, and we need to restart a button here as well. All right, so all that needs to be done between line 91 to 96 here as well. All right, so let me start typing some code here, and layout height. You gotta put at least these requires in there with it as well. Anyway. And you could see, stop right here for a second, you could see the text view is coming together with this. This is where the dynamic text is going to come in to say who wins, or this is where you're going to output this onto the screen with it. All right, and we need to do a font family, a font size, and a text, and close up this right here with it. So this is purposely done with a space right here, okay? So this is, there will be a space, that space, you can see that text comes in here, turn colon, right here, okay? And that is the text view for that part with it. We still have to do a button to reset the game with it as well with it, all right? So, shoot, I'm 14 minutes in already, so I'm going to stop the video. This concludes the number 10.